Song for My Father, which is the name of a book, and this is such an interesting story, interesting book. He says he's the quintessential nomad who has lived in 10 countries so far, and he's moved 23 times, I think.
23 times.
His name is Brian Samuels, and he's here to share his memoir with a song for my father, West Indian Journey. Morning, sir. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us. 10 countries?
10 countries.
You know, not middle.
Several of them several times.
That's incredible. Why you wanted to put this together in the first place?
For my father. My father was an incredible man. He was born in Grenada in 1922, and at age 19, in 1942, he went to England in the worst part of the Second World War. And he landed in Liverpool at the height of the Blitz.
This was the Windrush.
Yeah, he was actually pre-Windrush.
Okay.
Because he went and he worked in Metrovix, and he helped to build the Lancaster bombers. So he suffered a lot during the war, you know, like everybody did. He stayed on in England, and he was a very unusual man in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely dedicated to us, his 3 sons.
Well, that's the first strange thing about the book, because you wrote some tough words about your father. You actually called him a bastard and stuff. But then you came back and said he was the greatest thing in life.
Yeah, because you have to, you know, as kids growing up, you kind of diminish your parents.
Yeah.
You want to knock them down to size, you know, so... Yes, we'd take fun of him, you know, like if he screwed up something, we'd say, "Ha, Dad screwed up." But we loved him.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, he was my father who mothered me.
Right, because you said your mom left when you were 6. This is in Trinidad.
Yeah.
And you said it bothered you the older you got.
Yeah.
Which kind of, again, you know, because you would think the older you get, it would be easier for you, but it bothered you.
Well, it was a strange thing, because when she left, we didn't know, you know. I mean, we literally left one day. Every day, Dad would pick us up from school, and then she worked at Radio Guardian. Yeah. She was a celebrity on the radio in 1959-60 in Trinidad. So we would go and pick her up, and then one day, Dad went beep, 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 beep,
and
beep.
She just
she
wasn't
didn't
there.
come, and she had just disappeared. And as kids, you know, you don't know. You know, well, your mommy's gone away for a while. All right, then we'll go out and play.
Yeah.
And as you get older, then you realize what happened. Where did she go?
Did you find out?
Yes, we did. Yeah. And it was a lot more than we'd bargained for. But that was many, many years later. Many years.
I don't want us to tell everybody everything about the book, because it's a great read. I can't believe some of the stories. I feel you kind of use your head for us, because there was a story at 17 years old, you went hitchhiking across Europe, right? He's in Geneva, don't have nowhere to go, and he wants to use the bathroom.
Well, I'd been living on peaches for the last week, because they were cheap. You know, peaches and a bottle of wine cost like, you know, 50
and
cents. All of a sudden, the peaches let go. So I was in the middle of the financial district, a little hippie kid with a rucksack.
Yeah, man.
And I need to leave, like now.
So eventually, they wouldn't let him in, and then eventually when he put out him stuff, I like him say, "I'm not moving," and they eventually put him in, give him clothes, make him beard.
Wash my clothes, gave me a whole bottle of wine. I was like, and that started my love affair with traveling. I thought, this is the life.
Yeah. 10 countries. I don't want you to get yourself in trouble, but is there a special time in your life that you said, this was the best time for me?
I've had many best times. You know, my whole life is best time, really. You got to make everything the best. I loved coming. When I came to Jamaica when I was just turned 18 from England. Right. And my father, that was a brilliant move, because what he did was he realized that in England, I was going nowhere. I was part of the factory school system.
Yep.
I was a Windrush immigrant black kid. Yeah. And classic, careers day. What do you want to be, Samuel? Well, sir, I'd like to be a lawyer. Don't be stupid, boy. You can't be a lawyer.
Because you're black.
Because you're black, exactly. And I was going nowhere. And my father, crazily, moved to Jamaica between lower 6th and upper 6th. Yeah. And I went to Excelsior High School.
Yeah. Aggie Animo.
Under WAP.
Yeah. Mr. Powell.
Mr. Powell and Ted Dwyer, some of those legendary
Mr.
teachers.
Wong,
they told me, you're not stupid. You could be anything you want to be. I'd never heard this before.
Yeah.
So Jamaica changed me for the better.
I don't know if this was, you were a real photographer at the Bob Marley concert, or you just had a camera and ended up on stage taking pictures.
I had 2 cameras. One black and white, one color. I'm a photographer, guys. and they just let me on stage.
What was that like for you?
That was amazing. Well, actually, I did that twice. Once at the Stevie Wonder Bob Marley concert, when I actually went backstage. They were using an old JOS bus as their dressing room. The thing smelled bad. So I just walked in, and there's Bob and there's Stevie all hugging up and love you, man, and love you, man. And then I went on stage and...
You're a bit original, quietly. The other thing I found fun when you said the must-have list for any Jamaican fest. You remember the list? Tell me the list.
First of all, the set, the disco, who comes to rock your house, literally. Right? Secondly, there must be an inexhaustible supply of booze of all kinds.
And ganja too.
Well, that too, but we won't go there. And red pea soup and curry chicken and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Where do you live now?
I live now in Grenada.
Which is where your father was born.
That's where I was born too. Yeah. So I've retired again and then unretired. I keep retiring and then unretiring. So I'm doing some consulting now. I work in finance, in public-private partnerships.
Right. And you're going to Trinidad today, right? Because
I'm going to Trinidad
you're going to launch this there?
To launch this at the Bocas Literary Festival, which I'm very excited about.
You're going to do a little reading and stuff?
I'm going to do a little reading and be on a panel about writing memoirs and so on. At this point, I have to shout out Ian Randall.
Yeah.
Ian Randall of Publishing. He's a visionary. He read... I sent him an email. This is my life in 2 paragraphs, and the book is... And he wrote back, he says, if your book is as interesting as this email, I'm interested. And over the weekend, he read the book. He came back to me on Monday. He said, let's go. And he helped shape it and bring it to this level.
Yep. You have anything for your father?
Do I have anything for him?
Are you anything like your father?
I would like to say yes. But, you know, it's far from me to answer such a weighty question. What I do have is a dedication to my family. And I got that from him because he had it hard. I mean, he was a single parent bringing up 3 boys, and my brothers are really called Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
They're called Tom and Jerry. In London, and we didn't have any money. You know, as kids, you take things for granted. The nice jacket you got from Selfridges, or rather my 2 brothers got, I didn't get. And all the stuff, you know, the holidays you went on and so on. It's only after he died then I read all his documents, because he was a real hoarder.
Yeah.
He kept parking tickets, he kept letters, he kept diaries. He was a real diarist.
Yeah.
And he always would write this stuff down, and he kept it all in a box. And long after he died, I went into the box and I discovered a whole other side of my father. And they had him in court. The North Thames Gas Board, Sainsbury's, Selfridges, everybody had him in court for money, you know? Yeah. So he was, as they call in Trinidad, a scrunter.
Yeah. As a young man going all over the place, because I also left here as a young man, and I lived in Toronto. We're going to go now. But as a young man, was the traveling nice for you, or you just kind of said, no, I'm not going to wear this again?
Yeah, we didn't like it. I mean, every time we moved, we hated it. And then within a year, we loved it. Except for England. When I went to England age 7, I hated it and hated it and hated it. Because they're calling you nig-nog and chocolate face and stuff like that. You're dealing with that stuff, and it wasn't easy.
Where can we get the book?
You can get it anywhere that you can buy books. You can get it online, you can get it from Amazon, or here in Jamaica, you can get it in any bookstore from next week, Monday.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
This is fantastic for me. It's
a great read. To see you.
Great read. Great read. And I'll tell my brother that you are around.
Yeah, man.
Author Brian Samuel. Fantastic read, folks. So get it when you can. Second edition of News in 5 after this. Stay with us, please.